Hi, everybody. I'm Harry Kargman. I'm the founder and CEO of Kargo. This is an amazing session. We have the CMO of Samsung, Allison Stransky, who's been with the company actually longer than most CMOs have been with most companies these days. And if you think about Samsung as a brand, it permeates every part of our lives. I mean, it is the number one best-selling TV brand, also the number one best-selling Android device on the planet. And Allison leads the vision for the corporate marketing team here in North America, which is probably your largest market in the world as well. So I want to start out because she's led so much transformation at Samsung. What's changed in the media landscape and in consumer behavior? What are you doing when you think about AI first and the transformation that you led here in North America?
Well, first, thank you so much for having me and sitting up here and talking together. It's an exciting time to be in marketing. And as you said, AI transformation is really what's driving every marketer's motivations and plans and keeping you up at night, all those things. And at Samsung, we've been talking about it for a while. I think we have a different place and a different take on AI because it's in our products too. And part of my mission is to sell that AI for all vision and what's evolved into your companion for AI living, as we're talking about at CES this year. But we believe AI is a tool that's going to be used to make insert benefit. So many things. In the case of the marketer, we believe that it's going to help with analysis, with media planning, with creative. There's so much opportunity, but we also recognize that here it comes fast and furiously. We're set up the same way we were 5 years ago, maybe even more. So the other insight that's been back of mind is insert, or however you want to say what happened to the funnel. It's appended, it's dead, it's disrupted, it's certainly not linear. I think we've reached the point where AI is actually going to be a major help in reaching consumers more relevantly through their personal funnel. And that's kind of the North Star that we've been building a new modern marketing org towards.
And you really, when we were prepping, you were talking about transforming what the marketing organization looks like. And it's like a work in progress. Is there any insights in terms of things you've learned about how you actually have to transform the organization to better fit with what the world will look like in 2026 and 2027?
So we did actually make an org change in late 25. We stood up what we're calling a media center of excellence. And this is the team that is designed around helping all of our lines of businesses and who have product sales goals achieve those goals through more efficient and effective media buying. So the reason why this worked for us is we felt that there's a certain amount of expertise by media tools, by measurement capabilities that have really evolved. And we needed a team that had this Samsung first. So, we love Google, but Google's still Google first. We're Samsung first, but have the ability to look across the business in a unique way, because I also don't sit on the product team where there's a monthly, quarterly, a lot of pressure to make this week's sales results. Now we're sales driven, where we have to perform, we have to help the organization. But this was the output of a confluence of a lot of things. Here come new AI tools. We're ready for a new consumer journey. We just think we need to set ourselves up a little bit differently so that one team can be fully dedicated to achieving that.
So you literally convinced your organization to change and build a whole new department with new people from scratch in this year so that you could actually harness the changes that will happen next year.
We did. That was a beautiful articulation, because The outcome of this was increased headcount and resources across our total media org, because we actually added resources to our product marketing teams too, to say everybody has to be ready for the change. Our mantra or North Star behind this is to say, if we can make our media work 10% harder, we've paid off all those heads. We've done more for the business than we've added to get there. So it wasn't that easy. CFO didn't approve it in the first meeting, but we got there because we believe in a vision of you got to change things to have better outcomes and results.
So if you really think about what you just said, every organization believes that AI will cut headcount. What you've come to believe is that at Samsung, you can actually add headcount with expertise to actually extract value that will be far more scaled and will drive far better, impact to the organization than the cost of incremental headcount because of the value you'll be able to create using the tools.
Absolutely. And maybe it's the optimistic marketer in me, but every time I think about AI efficiency, I don't think about doing less stuff or less work. I think about cutting inefficiencies to spend time differently. And that's what this team is designed to do. And we're learning the expertise as we go. We've had some fun conversations this week about the new types of ways of working in marketing that didn't exist. There were no prompt engineers a few years ago. Now every marketer doesn't need to be a prompt engineer, but needs to understand that way of thinking. So we are creating resources to do more, better, faster for the longer term.
I mean, that's a headline if you think about it. That is like a headline, drop the mic. You're not eradicating jobs, you're actually adding resource to drive better business results.
Yes. Headline, anybody? I'll take it. I won't drop the mic, brand innovators team.
So when we talk about AI living, because that's been at the very center of how your product team has been thinking about how AI is built in across the Samsung ecosystem. It's not just about a single device, but it's about an ecosystem of devices in the home. How do you see the future? Like if you were to peer multi-years ahead, how do all those devices talk to each other to create sort of this connected AI-driven home living, personalized home living experience?
We believe we're on thank you for acknowledging, years roadmap to get to a fully autonomous, fully automated home. But that is the vision that we believe in at Samsung. Some of our executives have been out there this week talking about how we'd like to get to a place where your appliances are doing all of your chores for you. And I would love that. But today, what we do believe and what is achievable in 2026 is we think our biggest differentiating benefit is that our products work together. And that's a big step towards this seamless future. Is your phone talking to your TV or your refrigerator or your washing machine? We know that your refrigerator and oven your TV and your oven can communicate with each other. So that's already happening. And what that's delivering right now is little benefits that we think are little but really valuable. Time savings, peace of mind, a reminder that you didn't leave your clothes for too long or you didn't burn whatever is in the oven. And it's a pretty big step that we've gotten to this point, but those little benefits year on year are going to add up and get better too.
That's that idea of just not having to do as much and spending time in better places, I think is an amazing dream that we all hope will happen sooner rather than later. We talked a little bit about using AI personally as a consumer and then using AI in the enterprise as a business leader. Can you give examples of like specific examples of where you've seen benefit from a workflow perspective inside your organization of how you've transformed what's happening day to day to make your job easier, faster, better, leveraging tools? And like, what tools are you leveraging?
The focus that we've had to date with what is currently at our disposal has been making some improvements in email, for example. Really important channel, really love that one-to-one engagement. And because we know who you are and what your preferences are, we've been able to use some AI models and learning to reach you more relevantly. And even in little ways, like when you want to receive an email, as well as how improve what you're interested in, how close you are to making a purchase. Just little changes that we've made have actually paid off in the business. And I think that was a great dip your toes into the water, because just like our AI living journey, it's not going to all be delivered in 1 year. We're going to continue to get more personalized and better experiences in all of our marketing channels. Another example of what we've been doing is in the customer service space. Our care team has adopted a suite of tools that have helped consumers get service faster, response times that are better, and the agents on the other side are saving a lot of time and energy as well. So those little things are adding up to a better care experience that my team then runs with and gets to tell great stories around. So it's creating improvements that also turn into great things to talk about.
So it seems like it's small incremental workflow steps that is the desired. It's not like a sea change in the organization. It's like, how do you chip away at these small changes that will actually yield collectively big outcomes?
Absolutely. And one of the sentiment changes I felt at this CES is we're cutting through the AI hype. Last year, we were almost making jokes about how everybody's talking about AI. What is it actually going to deliver? And I think the capabilities have come along in a really important, meaningful way. But we've also taken a moment to say it's not about the hype. It's actually about what's achievable right now. And let's own that. And I think that's also been it's okay to take measured steps towards improvement mantra for us.
Yeah, I mean, what we talked about is that 2026 is the year of applied AI. It's not AI, it's not the LLMs, it's very specific to what is the application for your specific use case and business, that when you apply that AI against it, it solves a problem. So I think when we go into 2027, those examples of applied AI will be the things that are winning. The number of examples of applied AI win. And I want to sort of dig a little bit more into your application of AI to email. You talk about how like that has been the big winner for you this year with personalization. You gave a couple examples, but like, can you just go into this specific applied AI implementation has done X for Samsung?
So I'll talk a little bit about what we call hot audiences in email. And there are all the signals and indications out there. We previously had segmented into you're hot, you're warm, you're cold. Hot was essentially you're getting ready to make a purchase. What we've done is cut hot into its own set of segments, and there are varying degrees of even within hot of what you are and what action you're going to take. And so as we are finding the closer you get to purchase, and there were more signals than cart abandon. It's not just cart abandon. There were a lot of things that we were able to put together and say, either the number of times you came back, the number of actions you took within the site, put some meaningful learning behind how we think you're going to just make your decision, and then created a path of emails and actions. We're also very sensitive to how many times nobody wants to get spammed. So, but we found the closer you are to making that decision, you're actually open to more information. So we've turned on more emails in the last minute to help you guide through a personalized path of what is it that is it the refrigerator? Is it the laptop? Those are so different. We've gotten you there faster and we're seeing higher conversion. That's been the outcome because at the end of the day, it's a conversion driving channel.
Yeah, that's super interesting. So to get there, to stratify hot, you talked about needing to get better learning and the right people in the organization, and that led to this media center of excellence. You know, what problems will they be solving as you see email as that first step, but like what is the roadmap that they will be solving long term, and how do you pick and choose what on that roadmap that media center of excellence will sort of tackle first?
At the highest level, it is make the dollars that we have work harder. It's an efficiency play, but we know there's a lot of efficiencies to be gained by ongoing experimentation. We know the media products are changing constantly. So it's a mix of, if you keep in mind, drive more efficiency as the number one thing they need to do, then the way they're going to do that is by creating learning agendas and roadmaps to understand how different media products across each of our partners work. But at the root of that, it's also about thinking about a personalized funnel or journey, because back to hot, super hot, we need to reach you where you are in what you are thinking. And I think the media tools are getting there. I think we're really close to being able to say, I'm about to buy a TV. What do I need to hear? You just bought a TV. You're very happy, but I don't want you to forget about us. So how do our journeys happen in parallel relative to the person in the audience who's thinking about washers, dryers? So all of that can happen at the same time, and that's the model that we're going to build against. And it's not a new idea. Nobody hasn't been trying to do this, but I think we're at a point where the tools have caught up with the ambition, and now we just have to put the team in place to use the tools appropriately.
So as you get excited about tools in the future, what are the capabilities of those tools that you're most excited to see emerge that maybe you saw a demo of, or are sort of on the roadmap, either from the hyperscalers, the big companies, or even smaller companies? What are you excited that you'll be able to tackle in the future from a capabilities perspective? What do you think will drive the business when you look at 2026 and beyond?
It's actually a similar goal that I had a year ago. And now I'm saying, I think this is the year we're going to do it. But it's the matching of the personalized creative to the audience, the target. And we've been working on demos where I can put the phone model that you're interested in a hand of a model that's going to be interesting to you, matching your age or an aspiring background. We're getting really rich insights that are getting our audiences to a much more granular level. And now we're finally going to be able to start pairing the creative with it. And I think this is going to show up to a consumer in a tiny way. I don't think this is the Gen AI breakthrough that this one's not gonna win me a lion. But I do think that you're gonna feel that small improvement of Samsung gets me. And I hope if you see your football team on the TV versus you're a golf fan and I can put that on your TV, you start to feel seen more by the brand, and that's the goal.
So it's that personalization, it's that hyper personalization of messaging that may not even register with the consumer, but innately, subconsciously will make them feel like this brand is more them, that this brand recognizes their interest, who they are, what drives them to make that purchase. And by making these small incremental improvements in the creative, in the media, in the placement, and having the platform actually do that work for you in real time at scale, that platform will actually drive the improvements in terms of the business outcomes that you're actually looking for.
Yeah, that's my hypothesis. And if that part is easier and faster, I still want to use the time saved towards the big, impactful, can winning creative ideas, because I think there's a time and a space for, you need all of that. Like at the end of the day, marketing should inspire and excite, but it should also recognize the little things that are valuable too.
So we talked a little bit about how there's this challenge. On the one hand, there's the chief creative officer who wants to spend millions of dollars with the celebrity building this ad experience that goes on at the Super Bowl that is, a one-time win a Cannes Lion. And then there's the day-to-day, which is not linear TV into CTV. It is that experimentation with many, many different variations of the creative that will actually drive that hyper-personalization. How do you get the organization, broadly speaking, on board with the fact that you're going to be driving at two very different marketing outcomes, very different marketing approaches, because you have to basically manage, no, this is that bucket, and now we've got to go do the other bucket. How do you get everybody who probably isn't as sophisticated as you are to actually understand that that is what the future of media and marketing looks like?
On the whole, we are driven by outcomes, and my leadership wants to drive sales, get into more hearts and homes and all of those things. And so that's a lot of what we are here for. And I think we are also a very large organization, is in a lot of people. I think there's been enough those who understand the need for the meat and potatoes as well as the sparkly, shiny dessert. I think across our org, there's an appreciation for both. Now, I would assume not everybody everywhere. Sometimes you think of marketing only as the big splashy campaigns. But if you only did that, I think your data would show you're lacking the everyday in between. We are very launch focused. So something else we're committing to is trying to smooth talking about the product in between launches. You don't only buy a phone when it's new. People need phones every day. So a lot of this is the little changes that we're working and putting in place. But I'm fortunate that I also have a CEO who believes in that right now, and that's helped.
And so we only have 1 minute left. Why don't you share with everybody, like, with this new world, with your center of excellence, what does success look like? Like, how do you know that you're actually making it happen? You're delivering sort of the promise and going to actually change how Samsung shows up, especially given the fragmentation of all the places that you could be spending your money and time. How do you sort of look at evaluating whether what you're doing needs to pivot, or whether you're on the right track and you're going to leave it as is, stay the course?
In the world of all the KPIs that we measure, we still really value brand health metrics too. And so at the end of the day, I want more households, more people to recognize this future vision of Samsung as your companion to AI living. And so the brand health will still stay critical. And then behind that, how many products are in your household? Today we have at least one Samsung product in 76% of US households. 26% have 3 or more. I want to get that 26% higher so that they're working together better, so that you're getting to that future home that's delivering results for you. So it's a mix of a lot of things, but I'd say that brand health, that reported brand love are the things that drive me the most.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today. Can we give a round of
Thank you.
applause?
Thank you.
Allison did an awesome job.